You're with GP3 on Soul Searching, and it's been a while. How's everybody doing out there? Yeah? A lot to be felt, I'm sure. Feelings are valid. Over emotionalism is, going to cause a lot of problems. What we've been looking at is a society that's been hardwired and softwired through co-sympathetic relationships where things touch one another, and because of the programming, not knowing how to actually do something different. And part of the observation from point to point was that we started these shows with hermetics to assist with soul searching at a level that called all the attention from outside of the world back into the self, into the center channel, to take question: am I centered? Do I have the Christ channel open? A term that we use because of the Christ, the crown, and the messaging that comes with keeping that crown chakra open and that heart chakra open, not allowing things to close down the heart chakras. So, soul searching went on an interesting adventure to do this. We put ourselves in a position where we really wanted to grow the aspects of an interview channel that brought in greater intelligence into the system so that people would have an opportunity with information and knowledge and gnosis to help break some of those ties, to help break some of those strings down and get them into a position where they could have a more cleaner running free will without having to follow the system's narrative of controlling things. Yeah, we're actually breaking control structures down like the whole time as we've been facing it. But it's kind of interesting to find out that AI has been here for like thousands of years and has been a part of actually larger planetary control systems that we might have known. Yeah, the new version that we have amongst the humans is questionable whether it's taking creative power away from our lives or whether it is enhancing. And I would say, from a soul searching level, knowing how to produce these shows without AI was a critical component. It's almost like going to school for analog systems and then learning digital systems without ever forgetting the analog concepts so that you know how to be a better producer. Also, to know that these structures do modify and change and what those modifiers are. So, soul searching went on a little soul searching extra to take a look at what we were doing and what we're producing. We have three shows that we produce weekly, and soul searching, the Cortez Shows, as you see my studio here, and also Rocky Mountain Live with GP3, which is a 12-year FM broadcast presence in the heart of the Rockies, spinning the latest and the greatest from the electronic music scene all the way into the jam band arena, which I have a long history from 1987. And also as a player, a musician. I play five instruments, I've toured on two, and it's been an interesting experience to watch humans move around a bowl while they're either in dissonance or harmonic frequencies. And so part of the soul searching focus was to assist humans out of systems to bring them into a new system that they were not familiar with, which would be very difficult. It's bridge working work. And the bridgers out there right now are significantly coming online. And I wanted to get on and give you guys an update about what was happening with soul searching. We are advancing with the new expansion. All of the shows that I've gone into production with since 2018 is when I first started the Cortez shows, to address hitting the topics of hot tacos now. Yeah, right in front of our faces. A lot of people would not be able to see clearly what the now focus should be. So, to stop the future events from happening, it's a little different mindset, a little more cognitively aware and open, and not so delineative. We understand that delineative action is potentially a stuck position, and it creates kind of an adjunct disposition where at the time that you needed to be aware, you'll be saying, well, I forgot and now I remember. Well, we were looking for remembrance, remembrance, remembrance as an ongoing ritual and practice to be focused on. And so soul searching went out on the road from show to show to get interviews, and we've got a next expansion coming in our future we're really excited about. And we'll be able to drop more in on that in a little bit of time. But in the meanwhile, we want to bring up the things that are assisting us. And so some of you are producers, and some of you have had an idea to produce a show. Um, It'd be best if you had built a long history of building these kinds of things. Maybe a background in media and technology might help, so that you're familiar with how to make it happen now and fast, banging them out as fast as you can, not letting anything in that way stop that flow. When you realize you're in flow, and then there's these energies that are still running program that try to get in front of you, and try to stop that flow, whether they know it or not. um, we take account of that now. That's a recognizable concern, because it won't help everybody if the star seeds don't expand and explode past into the breakthrough, right? All right, and we're looking for breakthrough. Pam Gregory, thank you so much. What a great example from your shows, that we go into how in karate, when we break a board, we have to see 6 inches past it. We're going to assist humanity to see about 6 miles past it. And in time, the conditioning will break from the previous programs, and they'll be able to then open up that clairvoyant aspect and empathic aspect to see far ahead, but without control or judgment, trusting that that which they see will come. And it's a whole new method of how we do things. So it's coming online, and most of the star waivers out there are downloading and uploading everybody with content that helps bring into self coherence, which is a heart coherence. It's where your mind and your heart are one in alignment with a waveform moving up and down your body mind structure, but in context of a container. No more leaky energy. So we're looking at wholeness now, and wholeness is what's going to get us there. So we look at not how to make other people whole, we look how to explain how to get ourselves whole, and I think most of you have watched the show from an angle that where I've just been expressing out of my own lessons and my own experiences of what I had to learn through a difficulty to process the inner workings. So to be a self-contained unit, stop the leaky energy, and then realize, well, why did those leaks happen? And take a look at them. If we can take observation by our own life, we've got enough work to do in our own lives, rather than looking at everybody else's right now. So everybody's coming online slowly, and it's just a little bit to let go of that which has been grabbed onto, to let that go and say it's going to be okay. Just trust and have faith and believe in a greater thing, and it will happen now. It'll just occur. Now, what we want to do is get a lot of producers online right now, and we're looking at how to do that. And so what I thought is, if I just popped in to give you guys an update after the Convergence festivals, we're really excited. I've got a lot of Convergent Festival content that I'm going to be producing here over the next couple weeks to launch a Christmas convergence, actually. And it's heading towards the timeline. There's a lot of heavy and important work that needs to be done before December 19th. There's going to be a major critical energetic turning point, and there will be no more cuckolding. An old term that one should learn about. And yeah, you're going to learn a couple things with that one. But the idea is to get ourselves positioned individually into the things that we are building in our personal creations, but with the kindness and consideration. And that's been a tough one. A lot of people have been very kind and considerate over the long haul, but then others, finally got to them. And turn themselves a little more like they don't want to open up, and they don't want to remain in a state of openness because it's not safe. And I understand that completely. I've had to go through that really significantly over the last 10 to 20 years, where I had to put myself out there in a full kind of faith and openness where, let me tell you, man, there was some times in my heart that I did not feel good about what I was hearing and what I was seeing, and it was actually quite sickening. It really put a strong distress into the situation. But because of love and unconditional love, and coming from a perspective, holding a perspective of unconditional love, helped mm, bring me into an awareness of where my body chakra systems were at and where things were stuck. So I just began working on those areas individually and clearing them out and reopening them and getting them turning in the right way, or, unbent, if you will. A lot of things have been bent down here, and people are running the program on it right now. You're feeling it, but do you know how to get past it? You know, do you know how to get out of it? And every individual has to know how to be a breakout artist and then still build into a system that we want to go to. I believe that we're heading towards, just as the native said, committees and councils. Yeah, I know, right? Where a council runs a region, there's no more laws, no false laws, you know. We're not protecting assets anymore because we are so considerate now that we just understand how to honor one another in the right way. And also, remember, we're down here doing a cleanup job. If you're down here to think that this is a party still, you're in the wrong timeline. And you're probably going to feel the effect. It's going to send you down deeper into the density. Alcohol, not a good thing for people right now. No, it opens up portals and realms where they forget themselves. And then also, you've got other alchemies in play that need to be taken a strong account about. Because is it helping keep you on track for you expanding and growing into your highest self? Or is it numbing out features, which is one of the reasons why these alchemies became potent, I think, to numb out the features that we felt we couldn't do anything about. Well, we can now. And we're excited because the future holds a kind of human now. We're going to hold that divinity back while these systems are trying to manipulate to come online again through the inability to let go of old structures. They're going to still use that co-sympathetic relationship in a quantum on people who are little photon beams, photon lights bouncing around the planet in their conscious bodies. They're going to be challenged with whether they're going to go along with false narratives or whether they're going to think bigger. And we're looking for the big thinkers right now, the big thinkers that can think beyond the circumstance, and see the tragedy of what has been built and why, but then also take the goodness of that which has been built and why, and modify to filter. So modify to filter so that we move ourselves out of a negative co-sympathetic cuckolding relationship of the world and into the self unified whole being on track with their purpose and mission down here. A lot of us forgot and they got stuck because, well, material possession and the material things of the world are a strong feature. And they have definitely, everybody has to go through this. They have to be tested by where this got them. And once you do, you realize, yeah, you can still have all the things you want, but it turns into a more purposeful situation where what you built and what you create is all around assisting humanity for this expansion. So here we are in a soul